that off. And press play. Starting the show, Mrs. Ryan.
Spreading the word, it's kind of all appreciated.
I don't need 7 grams.
I love that. Sorry to everybody else. We have just been sitting here. I'm going to turn some lights on, turn some echo off, doing all the stuff we normally do. And welcome everybody to the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan, and this is Nicole Ryan. We've got a great guest in this house this evening. It's Byron Bowers. I'm looking at him right now while he is doing his own thing. What's up, brother?
What's going down?
We're gonna have him in here in just a few minutes. Until then, it is Thursday. I gotta turn these lights on. I don't know where to look. I don't know why they turn off. I must do something in the middle. You know, I import something or whatever, and then they all just turn off, and then boom. There we go. Get everything back. Bring it in here. Oh, my gosh. Isn't that better? Now don't you know where to look?
Mm-hmm.
Silly. Oh, welcome back. How you doing? How you feeling? What's happening with you?
This afternoon's icky, but otherwise fine. Thanks.
Cruising to wellness.
Hi, Rob. I washed my hair.
We'll do a commercial for that in just a little bit. Oh, man. Well, good for you for hanging in there. Good for you for being here for the show this evening for our friend Byron.
Thanks for having me.
Punchline thing. I love that. Punchline San Francisco? Yeah, that's the best.
The best.
All right, he's going to be in here in a few minutes. Until then, I just want to say hello to everybody, which we're doing right now. And I don't know how that's happening. I thought maybe we're not. Are we still live over there? That's happening, right?
As far as I know, yeah, it says live on the top.
All right, I'm trying to, for everybody else, I'm trying to then do what Skip Plus, right? Oh, here it is, live. Now I should, if Skip Plus is right, be able to get the comments over here. Oh, what's all this? Quiet, quiet, quiet. Oh, this is terrible. All right, well, whatever that was, it's not working. I don't want to burn this time with Byron. That's the problem with live these days. It's fun, but holy cow. No net. And no matter how much you rehearse and try to get this stuff, all this was working fine before. You know that, right?
I figured, yeah.
All right, YouTube's happening. It is what it is. The professionals would cut this stuff. We don't do that. What are you going to do? Okay, so we have an East Coast feed.
Okay.
Remember, there was snowstorm. There was snow. Well, it was the same one that hit us, I guess. The same reason we didn't have Breakfast Club last week. It was that same storm that moved all the way across the country.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that blanketed Richfield BMW and the whole surrounding area. And then we have another one. I don't know if this is snow-related or not. I haven't watched this. Okay. But it's an East Coast feed. And let's just blow through this stuff. And look up Byron in here. East Coast feed, viewer mail, and then Byron Bowers. That's the itinerary for tonight.
I like it.
All right, real quick. Oh, and I forgot to put the bug up, as I always do. Put the bug up. There we go. Now the bug's up. It'd be nice to have the bug during the videos, but I don't do that. I'm going to remember on Tuesday. Putting the bug up. Roll it out.
Mr. and Mrs. Ryan, East Coast Feed coming to you live from the shop. I know you love fun things like this. We got a beautiful M5, right? M5. Woof, beautiful. Say hi, boys. I'm gonna show you a fun. This is cute. This is cute. The guy came in and said, "I think I might need a transmission." I don't know, something weird. Ronnie, let's take a look at that hole, shall we? Can you guys see the hole in the engine? It's a fucking hole.
Oh my God.
Ron, is that all we got?
Another hole that way.
Another hole over here? Oh, hold on. There's more holes. If I see my light here, you can put your camera here and you can see right here.
Comes out the other side.
That's impressive. That's two holes. Two holes we got? How many holes?
How does that even happen?
3 holes in the engine. 3 holes in the engine. This is what you get when you do donuts in the snow and have fun. Right, with donuts in the snow, we're thinking that's what it is?
I don't know. It's just enough to blow.
Yeah, just enough to blow the whole fucking engine. How much is the engine running?
30 grand.
30,000. Low price just for you. Love you.
Steve, I was wondering, do you think the BG 109 engine restoration?
Engine treatment may help. It may help. But the whole, we make a patch that. Can we patch that with something?
Maybe well.
We could flush out with that, flush out all the old parts.
It would flush out the metal that's now all over the fucking place. So yeah, it's been cute. Love you guys.
Holy crap. Well, I'm thinking a little Marvel Mystery Oil ought to fix that right up. Not.
That's a lot
Holy
of damage.
One time at the same place, Richfield BMW, we, believe it or not, there was someone before you. And with that person, we drove a BMW. And I drove that BMW through a flood. It was under a bridge that would always flood. But I've driven, I drove my 3000 GT through that. I used to drive my 944 through that. It was never a problem. We're in her X3. And I don't know if it was something I did or the car or what, but vapor locked it or water locked it, whatever you call that, where you get water in through the air intake. And it's the car, if it was If it was a couple years old, it would have been totaled. Because it was less than a year old, it was like a same thing, $25,000 engine replacement.
Whoa.
I mean, insurance did it. Obviously, it was $500.
But still, that's,
still.
that car is the one that was the problem. Holy cow.
No, I don't know if it was the car's fault. I just, I mean, I don't want to blame the car because it really, I mean, I drove it through the friggin'.
Of all
It looked like a Top Gear thing, really.
Yeah. It just sounds funny hearing all the cars that have been through the.
I think it maybe I had false bravado because like I'd done it in my little lowriding, like the little sports cars, and then all of a sudden I'm in this like crossover SUV thing, and maybe overzealous. I don't know. I blame myself,
Question:
not the
if
car.
you about to break up with somebody and then you blow their motor, like how long do you got to stay in there?
We shared insurance. It was my insurance. That's a great question.
It's like 6 months. Soon as this motor done, bitch, it's over.
Oh my God, that's a really good point. So
Calling
yeah,
the mechanic every day. Like how far along?
how's it coming? Because I really want to get out of my situation here. Yeah, I don't know. That sucks though, especially if you were just out tooling. I don't know what does that. I mean, I know what did my Hydrolock, I think it's called, but I know how we screwed ours up. I don't know what does that. What blows a hole in the side of a new, inside of a new motor? That was a new BMW.
Yeah. Well, follow up, Cass.
So I believe, here's some of the struggle here. I can watch it on YouTube. I mean, excuse me, I've got the feed over here of everybody. Hi, everybody over here on Instagram. I've got that over here, but I'm not seeing any of their waves or whenever they comment. It just shows like whenever somebody joined. Oh, wait, no, what are we talking about tonight? Nuck and Futz. What's up, guys? I stand corrected and I apologize. We're over here. Wow, okay. All right, that's good enough. Then join in, and then at 5:45, we're going to take your questions for Byron after he'll be in here for a few minutes at that point. This live thing is crazy. We're trying to figure out, the podcast thing is so removed from your audience, and you as a comedian, you know that it's all about that audience interaction.
Yeah, great.
We're trying to figure out a way to cram it all together.
I mean, I'm still amazed by this setup.
We've come a long way since you were here last. Okay, all right. Let's do the viewer mail real quick and then get Byron in here. All right. This is good. World's smallest book. You hang on to that. We'll do that in a second.
Okay.
There you go. Let's see. These are from... Oh boy, he doesn't put it on here because I guess of the international shipping, but it's Spirit of Le Mans, and I just can't remember the guy's real name, but you know it. Andy. There you go. Andy from Spirit of Le Mans sent these back in December, and he said, "Oh, these are going in the mail today for you and Mrs. One's for her and one's for you to entice you to get involved," whatever that means, like in his business here. And then I never saw them. And I thought to myself, this guy's full of shit. And I was like, he already sent us scarves and he sent you a nice bag. So, I mean, he's very generous already. It's not that. But I was like, he must be really busy and we're the little guy. No, they were stuck at like customs or whatever. He checked in a few times and I was like, this guy's even going this far with it. He's really, really selling it like I sent him. And sure enough, it says right on here when they were sent. And it was back on 12/9, which was the day I received the message. So, Mrs. Ryan, new scarf for you from Spirit of Le Mans.
It's a good
Lamb's
pattern.
wool scarf made in Scotland.
Very warm.
Is this softer? Is this significantly softer than the other one?
No.
You sure? Mm-hmm. This feels softer wool to me on my face. The other one had a little bit of a scratch to it, and maybe it's because it wasn't washed yet. But this isn't either.
A little bit maybe.
Shout out to Spirit of Le Mans. Thank you very, very
Thanks,
much.
David.
We will wear them in good health, hopefully in good health, but we will definitely wear them. Oh, it's a great label on here. These are great quality, guys. If you're looking for scarves, I mean, I know we're kind of getting at the end of that. Although, Groundhog Day, there's 6 more weeks of winter, or 8 more weeks of winter. Get yourself some Spirit of Le Mans gear. They got really good stuff.
They're really warm.
Yeah, they got purses. They got all sorts of stuff. The bags and everything for you. I know you're not supposed to do that. For a quality item, right? You're supposed to go. Is what it is.
You
send
high
it to
quality item.
You send it to a low quality talk show host, you're going to get low quality behavior. That's nice. That's nice. it's easier said than done, though. I will say that. I thought this would all be over sooner. Also, it's definitely not filled in here, is it? All right. This one's cool. I haven't looked at it in too much detail, but I know what it is because the guy contacted me first. You know, we were talking about Back to the Future the other day because I posted the pictures of the Back to the Future time machine that we had built, and we went over to Bob Gale's, Robert Zemeckis' movie that he was working on, and Bob Gale's, all that stuff. So we were talking about Back to the Future for the first time maybe ever on this show. Well, with that, one of the people from the old Back to the Future world reached out because he saw the show or saw the post or something, and he told me about a book that he had written and mentioned that I was mentioned in the book. And it's about the DeLorean time machine. And I said, well, gosh, if you want to send me one, I'd be more than happy to talk about it on the show. But if you want to send me two, I'd be more than happy to talk about it on the show and send one to Matt Farah. Make sure Matt Farah gets one because he is a huge Back to the Future fan. So what we have here is two copies of the book Build It With Some Style by Tom Silknitter. Tom Silknitter sent these. I can get that going right here.
It's really cool.
Now, I haven't read this. I have not even, I literally did this. Unauthorized Tale of the Time Machines from Back to the Future. So I don't know anything about it other than it's available on Amazon. In memory of Ron Cobb. I didn't know Ron Cobb died. You've been out of this for a while. How about that? Ron Cobb was the, oh, look at this shot, Mrs. Ryan. Thanks a lot for telling me about the shot here. Ron Cobb was one of the original designers of the time machine, him and Andy Probert. Like literally when it was sketches, when it was,
No way.
What do you want it to look like? Well, we know it's going to be a DeLorean, but we know we want all this stuff mounted to it. And they both, Ron
They
Cobb
made that
did
a
the first pass,
character.
and later on
That's really cool.
Later on, Andy made it the car that we all know. But very, very cool. So I'm going to look through this. He says I'm mentioned. I don't know how or why, but I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much, Tom Silknitter. There's a lot of, when I was paging through, there are a lot of photos that when we were doing the time machine builds, we would have killed people for these photos. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of these, but they were always, everybody had whatever they had, and they all kind of held on to whatever, you know? Like, oh, they're little precious, my precious. And they're all here in this book. They're all here in this book, and lots more. Shit, there's a ton of stuff I haven't seen. This is not, I'm saying this now, this is not going to make me go out and build another one. I'm not interested in that. But very, very cool. Thank you. It will make its way into the set, and the other copy will make its way to Matt Farah, hopefully this weekend.
He's going to be so excited.
I think so. He's got all that stuff anyway. He's got a Bob Gale signed flux capacitor and everything. Well, I can't say that. Never mind. That would be very disrespectful. I was going to say, I would give him the poster that is signed to me with but it's signed to me.
Yeah.
Jay Ryan, we couldn't have done it without you. Thanks, Bob Gale. All right. Are we good?
one.
Oh, in the book, yeah. Okay. No, so this is from Jamie Tate, one of the Breakfast Clubbers. He's a musician. I think he's in the LA Philharmonic. He's a real musician here in Los Angeles. And he was at Breakfast Club with his wife maybe a month ago. And he was telling a story about how he had met he was wearing a Mr. Rogers shirt. And I said, oh my God, is Mr. Rogers so important to me? Blah, blah, blah. All of our viewers know that. He was telling a story about Mrs. Rogers. And it was a personal story. Oh, she came to this thing and they all enjoyed time together and whatever. And she died the next day. So add that one to the list of people. I killed Larry King. You killed Cloris Leachman. You killed Tony Soprano. Anyway, so he then, next time to broadcast to Breakfast Club, he brought this beautiful book called Wisdom from the World, According to Mr. Rogers, Important Things to Remember. And it's just a tiny little book, to and from. I don't even want to, there's nothing too, it always helps to have people we love beside us when we have to do difficult things in life. One of my wise teachers, Dr. William F. Orr, told me, there is only one thing evil cannot stand, and that is forgiveness. It's just a bunch of these. And I love it.
It's really awesome.
I love it. I want to carry it with me, but I also want to put it in the set. Maybe we'll do both. When we can resign ourselves to the wishes that will never come true, there can be enormous energies available within us for whatever we can do. He's just a great guy, so little Mr. Rogers. I love that.
I talked to that guy
Jamie Tate, if I didn't say his name before, Jamie Tate.
we talked at Breakfast Club, but the week before that came, and he was so excited to give it to you.
Oh, so you already knew. So did he already kill her? She was still alive.
She was already dead.
Oh, okay.
We
Terrible
talked
thing.
about doing too.
Terrible thing. All right. There's lots of people on here. Thank you, everybody, for joining on the Instagram. Hi, that Porsche girl. Hi, Preston. Hi, 982 Evo. Hi, Great Eye. Elvis is on it, and he's on here, too. Troy 356. Marcha Beto. We talked to you the other day. I thought you were sleeping, but it was just dark. Maurice and the driver's seat. Scott Andrew Fisher. Good stuff. 101 Cars and Coffee. What's up, guys? This is good stuff. All right. I would say let's take a break, except we're live, so we can't take any breaks. But let's bring in our guest. You know him. He's a stand-up comedian. He's an actor. He's an investor. He's a recent Porsche 911 owner. Our good friend Byron Bowers is here. Come on in, Byron.
Yeah. Woo! Woo! What's going on?
This is good stuff. So we're figuring all this out. We're trying to do it still. We haven't exactly nailed it.
How's my lighting?
Uh,
I gotta figure out how to sit on this thing. Is this the only camera on me?
Oh no.
Y'all got 3,200 cameras on y'all. This ain't even lit for black people.
where do you?
It's 2020.
Hang on.
Can
I
we
can
get
change
some,
that. I've got that. There we go. There it is.
There it is. This guy's a professional. Look at it. Look how beautiful my skin looks. Like I'm fresh from the sauna.
Oh, Byron, you were one of our first guests. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you, man. This is it's interesting to be back and like I knew where the apartment was.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's rare for me.
Oh, you mean from the one time you were here?
Yeah.
Well, that is good.
Yeah. Nice building, nicely cool. I'm pretty sure I complimented all this stuff before.
I left my. Well, I don't know what's going on here. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I can't drink. I can't talk to you unless I have a drink too.
I meant to have some Blanco tequila in here, but you know.
Do you drink? I can't remember. I thought maybe were you going through a straight edge thing at one point?
Well, no, I never really got deep into anything. I'm from a family of addicts, so I always dabbled. So, but I don't know. I like Blanco tequila now.
Okay.
I have a little bit, like a little sip, and it's like I don't really drink coffee, and that's a version of that. Yeah, coffee.
So you drink tequila instead of coffee?
Yeah, because it gets me alert and
Good
perked,
morning.
but it's not too much. Like coffee sends me through a whole trip. Like I get emotional, I get horny, and like
What?
my teeth start like grinding.
The
a
little
bit.
vibrations?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's a crash after that, And tequila just, a little bit of tequila just block out extra thoughts.
But not this isn't like a morning, like a pick-me-up thing. We're talking more.
Oh,
Or
no.
are we talking about? Maybe we are.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know if I just need it, just like when people have coffee. Except take a whole cup of coffee and make it that amount, and then
You're just looking for something to stimulate you a little bit, right?
yeah,
Kinda
and
wake
it got
up.
a nice little burn, like a little fuel. You ever had any fuel in your mouth? You ever drank antifreeze by mistake?
That'll kill
Not
you.
by
That's what it's like.
Not by mistake.
Not by mistake, on purpose.
No, I've never. No. I'm trying to think. Gasoline from siphoning when I was a kid, like
Yeah.
from the lawnmower into the tractor or whatever. That would probably be the only time I ever had gasoline in my mouth. And I do
Yeah.
remember to this day that.
Yeah, it's one of those. And,
Okay.
but then you have antifreeze.
Have
So
you ever
never
had
drink
fuel in your
antifreeze.
mouth?
And never drink antifreeze, and then you taste it, and it's like, oh. I was working under the car somehow, and it dripped just a little bit got in my mouth.
Well, they say it's actually sweet, isn't it?
Oh, it's sweet, yeah.
Because the animals, your dog will drink it and die.
Yeah.
It's sweetened because it's tasteless, but it's
Oh, that's right.
suicide.
She's right. I read this as well. Do you know about this? Antifreeze is flavored that way because otherwise otherwise it has no flavor.
Mm-hmm.
No, is that true?
That's what I've read.
Or is it? I'm thinking of natural gas. Yeah.
I know this from murder shows.
Oh, from murder shows?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it got to be true.
Before they were entertainment, they were educational.
Oh, that is true.
I love that we got on something I had
No,
no
my sister
I had
watched
no
murder
idea.
shows, and a lot like Snap and these shows she be describing to me, and it's about, she used that to learn how people are.
I
If that
learned
makes
a
sense.
lot about
Psychology.
humanity that way.
Yeah.
She's learning
The
people's
patterns,
psychology.
yeah. Like this, how these people act. Like I did that with lottery winners.
What?
Yeah, it was a thing on YouTube that said you can look this up. It's like the top 10 things that lottery winners fail at that make them go broke again. And I went down that wormhole and just watching people get a lot of money and then becoming broke.
Because they don't know how to handle it. Is that what it is? Is it simple as that?
Yeah. Because I always want to be in the point, like, if I got some money, like, what would I do? And I'm like, oh, I definitely would have did the same thing. So I want to educate myself so I don't do those things. And I just went and did those things. It's different when you get it in your hand. You know, that was fun. I didn't do it. I don't, people think I make a lot of money because they see me on TV. But
you're on TV, driving 911 now. There's a lot of stuff to it.
No, I'm still like a regular dude. I was at the Goodwill like the other day.
Some people don't realize.
Spent $20,000 in that motherfucker. No, I'm just playing. No, I was just joking. I'm not that guy. I wear a lot of merch, as you can tell. I'm like.
Yeah, punchline. Is that still there? They were going to shut it down, but then there was a big thing to keep it going.
Dave Chappelle came and he did a run of shows there, and they made enough money, I think, to.
So it was financial. They were going to shut it because it was financial.
Yeah, I think Google or somebody. I mean, you got to compete with them in San Francisco, So I think one of the big boys came in, Alphabet, if you want to look up their ticker, came in and tried to they bought everything, so they had to do whatever politically to make it to where they can be there, and this can't happen again.
It was always kind of not in. It's not really where a comedy club should be anyway. It's kind of in the financial district downtown.
Yep, next to that it's a bank. If you look at all the movies that's in San Francisco, it's always this pyramid building.
Yeah.
That's a bank, and it's like right next to the bank.
The Transamerica building originally. Yeah, wow.
Nice area though, because right next to that you have Little Italy and then Chinatown. Mm-hmm. And then mostly Chinatown. That's the only place I've seen Chinese push the Italians out. Because they got gangsters too. They got gangsters in the Chinatown too.
Whenever we went to San Francisco, we would always stay in that area. The Embarcadero, they call it, I guess, right? Is that what they call it?
I don't know what they call it.
There was a hotel that we would always stay at there, right by the trolley line there, right on that big hill. And it never made sense because the whole place would shut down at 5 o'clock. And then you had to walk a couple blocks to get to both of the different districts you're talking about. It never occurred to me. I mean, they do kind of almost overlap. There's not like a dividing wall or alley or anything.
It's not a wall, but you definitely could tell by the signs.
That's what I was going to say, though. There's this invisible, it's like Toontown.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, these things start hanging from the the buildings and stuff, and you like, this is a different vibe. You got the old guys there playing. I remember last time I was there, I always eat like this the House of Nanking while I'm there. They got this calamari there that's like, it's beautiful.
Fried.
I mean, if somebody just threw it on my face.
That good.
And it slaps. It's soft and it's fried at the same time. I still can't figure out how they do it, but
well, hang on. Are we in the Italian fried calamari, or is this in the
this is
Chinatown?
In Chinatown.
Calamari? Okay,
this is in Chinatown.
Different preparation.
Yeah,
no marinara in the Chinatown one.
No. But no, it has a white sauce that comes with it, and then it's drizzled with like a little bit of spiciness. But it's just I don't eat nothing too spicy, but it's just the right amount. They got a tea with they put like a seed in it, and then it grows into a flower inside the tea. Yeah. And it's crowded. Like I usually eat in the corner at like a little square table, and they be mad because it's just me by myself.
Holy cow!
Yeah, but it's worth it. And
wow.
Either way, you got the guy. They got the little park over there, and there's always these old guys. I think they playing dice, but they playing the Chinese version of dice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Is there one? I know there's Chinese checkers.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's mahjong or something they playing, but they into it, and they squatting down, and it's a bunch of OGs. I call them OGs, right? And I remember I was staring at them one time. I was like, I'm gonna walk over there and see what the fuck they doing. And right when I was about to walk over there, I seen a guy standing on the corner staring at me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this part of that. This the gang. This the gang. Something. You know what I mean?
You're stepping into something you didn't even know that you were stepping into.
Well, I'm being watched myself. I'm watching them, and somebody's watching me. And because I don't know, it ain't like I was in Japan. You know who the Yakuzas are.
Because you can see them.
Yeah, they like visible.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Suit and a machine gun. Sure.
Yeah, and they're like it's always a black Mercedes or something dope nearby, G-Wagon, and you know, something
of
aggressive
course.
looking.
The mafiosa vehicle.
Yeah. And then with this, I don't know, you know, but I do know it's gangs over there because, you know, and they not breakdancing, not all of them. Cause I know somebody that grew up there. They would tell me these about these gangs and getting jumped by these gangs.
Saying it's not a big deal, or it is a big deal?
Oh, it's real deal.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be a big deal.
It's the real deal.
I mean, I don't really know anybody in San Francisco who fucks around. I mean, like, at all. Even the comedians. Everybody takes everything very seriously.
You know what? You're
Everyone's
right.
on a mission up there.
You're right. And shout out to the Mission.
Shout out to the Mission District.
I was catching a bus from the Mission, and somehow somebody's dog or something got stepped on the bus, and a fight broke out. A full fight. This old lady dog got stepped on, and this dude was just like, so. And then apparently her son was like a punk rock looking dude. And he was like, "What you say to my mama?" And he hit this black dude. And it's like the back doors open, and he fell out.
The
back.
bus.
And then his cane was Nick's. It was like, fuck you and his cane. And then they stopped the bus, and it was an hour.
Oh my God.
It was an hour, man.
I didn't even mean anything like that.
Man.
I just meant it's a hard city to survive in.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just one thing. I don't think that was a hard day for the Mission. And I explained, I was late for a meeting like an hour, and they was like, yeah, man, that's the Mission. And then you look at San Francisco now, and you like, man, you know, those old neighborhoods meant something.
Yeah. Do you know Tori Belleci from the Mythbusters? He's into comedy. That's the only reason I asked.
Probably not.
Okay.
Shout out, though. Shout out to you.
To the
Shout out to you, sir. Out there busting those myths.
Do you remember the show
myth busting
Mythbusters?
ass. Your motherfucking myth busting ass out there busting them myths. Look at you out there. That's how they talking to bait them.
Here's why I asked. We met you through Ian Bagg. And Tori, we used to bring him to Ian Bagg shows and stuff. So I thought maybe there might have been some crossover.
I could have
and
met
Tori's
him.
a huge.
I could have met him, but I'm bad with names. But if you sitting in the green room, next time I'm sitting in the green room with him, and he looking at me like, motherfucker, you know me, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this happened. But until now, you out there busting them motherfucking myths. That's how them Bay people talk. They got this, and they talk with their fingers because they like from that pimping area. It's like at any moment they either typing or they can slap you real fast.
Are you playing to the Instagram audience? Is that what you're
Oh,
doing?
I guess so. I don't know. This is the only camera. This is the only camera.
All right, so I should have told you. So the red light is what.
I got another one over
so
there.
that's you at all times. And then
This the main camera?
Yeah, that's you. That's your camera.
I'm so sorry.
And then
you know what I'm seeing? I'm doing this all wrong.
But all these people are responding to the Instagram, which is great.
Get my ass whooped when I'm up in that yay area next time.
Dorian One Vintage says, that's a crazy bus line. I used to live in the Mission 21 years ago.
Oh, you was in the mission. Why they call it a mission anyway? Because everybody's on a mission going through there?
I don't know. I was going to get into that. This only time we didn't know San Francisco very well. We didn't know much about it. So some of our first friends up there happened to be the Mythbusters. It just worked out that way. So they would always show us around. Hey, come to this. We're going to this bar in my neighborhood. It's in the Mission District. Oh, okay, great. Well, you plug it into navigation. It's a whole different part of town, and it's a different part of town. Now,
Bro.
I loved it. Growing up in New York and living in Venice, I loved it. But it was a different experience, and I didn't know. It was a shock. We went to that place. What was that awesome?
That breakfast.
Yeah,
place
the
where
brunch
they
place.
I was about to say the food.
Foreign cinema.
They made pop.
Oh, all of the food. Every place he took us, the one place was better than the next.
And it's affordable.
And that.
And then they got nice murals and all type of stuff, and you know,
Very arty.
I remember seeing guys selling weed on the street, like out their hand, like you went to tourists. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, oh, it's changing. Like they was just like, yeah, you want some weed? You want some weed? They put it back in this big, like a Glad trash bag. You know?
Would you ever live there? San Francisco, not the Mission.
I mean now, man, I'm pretty comfortable now, so I'll say no. But I mean, it's so expensive, and I did have fun ripping the 944 up and down the streets.
So you had that up there?
Oh yeah, I drove it up there.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was just starting out, so I mean, I wasn't flying at the time.
Right. If you can get here, we'll put you up.
Yeah.
Get
So
yourself here.
I mean, but I remember like the car just being like a slightly airborne, and then you just going down, and I'm coming down a hill fast, and the streets are so wide, even though they got the rail, if the train not coming, you could just turn. You could just turn and just be right on the pier somewhere, you know. So yeah, I had some fun up there, and every neighborhood is different. I stayed in the Richmond district. It always rains over there for some reason.
I've never heard of the Richmond district.
Yeah.
Is that like where is that?
I can't tell you what it is, but its weather is different than I remember leaving Richmond where it was raining and then going somewhere else. They stayed on the hill and it was beautiful.
I kind of know what you're talking about. Another Mythbuster, Carrie Byron, name dropping the Mythbusters this episode. She lived in an area called I can't say. I shouldn't have done any of that. A different area where it may be where you're thinking of. There's an area called Sunset. I think I can say that.
Yeah.
Is it over there?
I have no idea.
It was different climate than where we were earlier in the day.
Because at 4 or 3 or something, the mist comes in, and it just like sideways rains. It just comes in. It's a very interesting place, and it gets cold.
They say that the coldest, what is it? The warmest summer? I forget it. I can't remember that.
I don't know.
There's an
I shot a video game up in Marine County, and I went across the bridge for the first time, and I was like, oh shit.
The Golden Gate.
Yeah, those boats, it just turned into a whole different place. And the Golden Hills, and I was like, oh, the Golden State Warriors. All right, this is beautiful right here. It's interesting up there. All that weed money. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Used to be wine money, and now it's weed money, huh?
Man, I'm like, you know what's smart about it? They got land, so they can grow anything you need.
Oh, it's just a resource.
It's
The
just
land
the
is the
farms
resource.
up there, yeah. So it's like, oh, we doing legal? We doing legal now? All right, now since we legal, I gotta charge you more.
Well, everyone's got to get their cut, right?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, all the farms up there, and that's to me that's where the OG, like the 70-year-old drug growers,
The old hippies.
yeah, the old hippies.
That's what you want, isn't it? Don't
I
you want
mean-
that, or do you want the chemistry of the modern day stuff?
I don't do it too much, honestly. I mean, I'm sharp now, but if I was in the game, or anyway, just in life, you want to move out the city and get the land, right, and just grow stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Self-sufficient. And if you could make a little money selling weed, I mean, you got the land already. I wouldn't advise anybody to do it.
You
Anything I say is for entertainment purposes
That's right.
only.
Oh my
I got some
gosh.
family in right now.
I have a blue card for you. Let's actually get to some of this stuff.
Okay.
What's been different since we saw you last? When you were here, when this was just a dining room table, Life with the Ryans, we just starting out, you were so nice and generous with your time. Thank you, thank you. You said, I'll be back when I get a 9/11. That happened.
Oh, I said that?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the grind is real. Huh?
That was like almost 3 years ago.
But wait till I get this Gunther works.
Oh, you doing that too?
No, I mean, I just
Good
seen.
Lord.
I just seen.
Because
it.
I'm not doing that well.
No, I just seen it for the first time. Right?
No. For the first time.
Yeah, live, like in person, and I stuck my head and I smelt it. I smelt the Alcantara. You know.
What'd you think?
Oh man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. So I was like, I got to put this. Let's shoot for the stars. So I was like, I got to put this on the board.
Oh,
On
mood
the
board.
vision board.
Vision board.
Yeah. So I was like, let's shoot for the stars. What can
What
I
color?
create? You know what? I like the greenish. You know, I'm like those.
Which one did you see? We'll start there.
I saw the one that was all carbon fiber. I saw a silver one and I saw the green one.
Oh, you saw a bunch of them. Okay.
So of course, maybe and the blue one.
Where were you?
In Moulin.
Last Saturday.
What's the correct? It sounds French.
Yeah, I think they say Moulin or Moulin, but it's clearly
I don't know.
Moulin
Duh.
with
You know.
a little deal.
I was in French. I got stuck with duh. That means two. Duh. I ordered some ice cream. She was like, duh. I was like, duh. She said, duh.
Was that
They got
$2
a
or she
the
wants you
French
to have
got
two?
a face they make. It was two. And I kept saying it back and forth. And she kept doing the face. She was like, duh. I was like, duh? She was like, duh. I was like, duh? She said, duh. And I just kept going. And my girl grabbed me and was like, stop messing with that lady. It was wild times over there in France. You know they eat snails? No, I'm playing.
Escargot.
I had a snail over there.
Just one?
I had one and then it was good, and then I had one that tastes like something I shot out my nose. Like it got wet and salty at the end. I was like, this ain't right.
Oh, that's a bad. Oysters are great. I love oysters too. You get
Oysters
one
are
bad oyster, and then I can't have oysters for a year or 2 years.
Is it?
It just takes one.
I don't know if I had a bad one or not.
You'll know.
No, I don't want to. I'm
No.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
Is
No,
it still
you'll know.
wood?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been it's been a grind, man. That's all I can say. I don't know what has happened. You know,
Can
maybe.
we talk about your car that you got though,
Oh yeah.
or do you not want to?
Yeah,
Because
can
I
talk
understand
about it.
both sides.
I mean,
Although I
guess
did just
can.
do what I just did.
Yeah, I guess I can. Because nobody knows I got a car.
But the people who watch this show,
But the people who watch
do
this show
know
will know I got a
that
car.
they know you through the car.
Yeah, so
rolling coffee bean.
rolling coffee bean. I got a macadamian brown Targa 997 4S.
Stunning color combo.
Yeah, with a I guess a couple of options in it. You don't know the options to somebody with a Porsche your car. They be like, "Damn, you got the stitching inside the thing with the thing." I was gonna do
Oh,
a
you're
whole
doing Danny. That was Danny.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a whole joke about that. You know,
Some
that's,
guy in a 997.
yeah, that's funny that he knows Danny like that.
Well, that was a good impression of him.
yeah. He's like, oh,
That's
wow.
how we gotta do. We refer to him. He's I forget which one's Jesus and which one's Mero, but he's whichever one would apply. You know Jesus and Mero?
Yeah.
He's whichever one.
Yeah, that is true.
the one on the right.
That
when
is
you're
true.
looking
That's
at the
hilarious.
show of the car community.
You know, he did stand up too. That's how we met.
He did. He told me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he any good? Because he's really funny as just a guy on the
Yeah,
street.
I think that's how we all start. So I don't remember. So I would say yeah, but I definitely think the game broke him. Like he said, like it's no. He like money.
Yeah.
So
So it's tough to be a broke
oh
stand-up
yeah,
comedian if
yeah.
you love money.
Like he could tell you, he said they was splitting. He said one night they was splitting a sub sandwich, 5 guys, the foot-long dollar. They cut it into 5s, and he was like, this is it for me. And I was like, man,
He's like, do you know how much money Jared makes
I know.
selling these subs?
Enough to play with children.
Oh,
You can't be
is
poor.
that right? Oh,
You can't
I
be
forgot
poor.
about that.
You ain't never heard of no. You ain't never heard of no poor pedophile. You can't be poor and buying Skittles and candies for kids.
Oh my god!
And so you got to think. And I'm not promoting what he did.
Oh no!
No, I'm not promoting what he did. But I believe in balance. In the universe. So maybe his lust for the young ones is what drove him
Yes.
to lose weight and get into this whole Subway thing. Because my lust for a 9/11 is what made me make bigger moves. I'm not saying it's...
But they were probably different moves, I hope.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like, ambition. I guess that's the word. I'm trying to
Oh,
use.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a story the other day. Do you know Tom Segura? I figure you guys might.
I've known him. I just ain't seen him in a long time.
Okay.
I want him to sign my hat.
He comes to Breakfast Club sometimes. Make sure your hat's in the car.
I'll keep it in the car now.
All right. No, because I saw you do that with Leno the other day.
I reached out to him as rolling coffee bean.
He's like, what do you got, 100
Nothing.
followers?
I got nothing from him. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to roll up on this is what you gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta roll up on the motherfucker and be like, hey, player. Bay Area up in here. I'm trying to get this motherfucking hat signed, I got this Porsche hat. In the Bay, they probably say all the hard R on the Porsche. And they put an extra R on. I got this Porsche hat, and I need you to sign it. Signed by all the comedians. I don't know why I'm trying to do E40 right now. I was just listening to E40. You know E40?
No. I love you. I'm watching all of this. I'm just sitting
E40,
back.
Earl Simmons. He got his own wine. He was a gangster rapper who became success, had his own label, and now he got his own wine. See, most rappers get in the liquor business.
Mm-hmm.
He got in the wine business. Ooh. That's his ad libs. He'd be like, ooh.
Well, maybe he's got property and you got the room to grow the
Oh,
grapes.
yeah. He definitely got,
The reason I was bringing up Tom Segura as a non sequitur now, just for our friends at home, was he apparently was hired to play Jared's brother, and they shot all the spots and everything, but then they never aired them.
Oh,
like in the subway spots.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Tom. Tom, what happened? Wow.
It's a great story.
Did he get paid though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good story.
Supposedly, he
Congrats
did.
to Tom. And like I say, he one of those to me, him, Rogan, and these guys. I mean, to me, they some real like on some Atlanta shit, like independent, like shit. You know.
What's it? You've done Joe Rogan. What was it like doing that? I mean, that's the Tonight Show these days. That is the
Man,
show.
I do not remember. I think people was cursing me out because I talked about race on this show. And
the comments people?
yeah,
You mean internet people?
And to me, it was fun. I had a ball. It went by so fast. You know, these things when you're present, they just go by. So I really can't tell you how it was. I know it's just like when I watch myself perform, I'm like, yeah. But doing it, man, I had fun. I did it once or twice. I think I did it once.
I feel like it might have been a couple times too.
I don't know, but either way, it was a great experience. And Joe's another guy, you know, that's as solid as he can be. You know, I remember saying him. They sent me to see Joe when I started comedy. They sent me to see Joe Rogan.
What, your management?
No, I didn't have management then,
Or
but a
you-
friend of mine. Because I'm in the
other
South,
comedians?
and I'm saying reckless shit on stage, and like it's a Southern audience, and they like, what the hell this guy talking about? So he's this guy Drew Thomas, comedian. Shout out to Drew Thomas. He was like, hey man, you edgy, so you should see how edgy comics work. Crowd people who say, you
for
know,
the
they don't.
experience.
Yeah, they don't cater jokes to audiences. They just do them. You know,
Is that good or bad?
it depends. If you want to work fast, it's bad. If you want a
Right.
career, then it's good.
Well, it's tough because they say that you're supposed to find yourself on stage, right, and not do an act, so to speak.
I don't know. I just had to do what I do.
Yeah, okay.
But I found, luckily, I mean, I look at the first 2 jokes I wrote, and I still do a version of that today. And I'm like, wow.
You want to burn them here?
Well, I know the first one was, and I got booed for this, by the way.
Oh,
I remember I went up on Sunday at Uptown. That's when they would boo people. And I was like, man, I went to church today, and everybody started clapping. It's the South. They love church. And I was like, man, I went to church for different reasons than I did when I was younger, because I'm an adult now. Like when I was young, I would go to church because my mom made me go. But now that I'm older, I go for the hoes. What? What?
oh, but that is what a great misdirect, great surprise. They didn't like it.
No, they didn't like that. And
That's a
then
mistake.
another
They
joke.
didn't know.
And this is on film somewhere. This is 15 seconds of being on stage before I got booed. I talked about being locked out the house. I was like, man, I got locked out the house, and you ever get caught like looking through somebody's window? And they
No.
were like, what? And I was like, man, I got locked out the house, and I went around trying to get into a window, and I seen a lady fresh out the shower. She had a towel around her back, and she was undressed.
Is this real?
She had thick titties, and she took the blanket down. She had big ass, and then she turned and saw me, and she was like, "Boy, what the fuck you doing?" And I was like, "Mama, I'm locked out. I need you to let me in the house."
Oh
And they was like, "What?" You ever see a black audience like you ever see a black audience look at each other? They just look at each other, and then they like,
no! You had me hook, line, and sinker.
That's
Hook,
the
line,
second
and
joke.
sinker.
Them the first 2 jokes I ever wrote.
Oh, it's so
Now
good.
you look at how dark I am, and it's like,
I didn't realize you were retelling the joke. You had me hook, line, and sinker. It was so
oh
good.
well, yeah,
So good.
So I think about it now, like, man, because Ralphie May told me you go full circle as a comic. You know, you start out making your friends laugh, and then you start doing comedy, and then you start telling jokes, and then you become a whole different person. And then the craft is going full circle and making people who not from your neighborhood or not your friends laugh at the same thing your friends would laugh at.
Wow, that's
so you
got to
become yourself all over again.
You have to transcend the art afterwards.
And you become that circle. And that's why Jared from Subway. No,
Yeah, and R.I.P. Ralphie May, by the way, too.
yeah, R.I.P. Ralphie May. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, the Rogan, that was a cool experience, man. You know, so they sent me to see Rogan, and they sent me to see Chelsea Handler. And I remember seeing Chelsea Handler for the first time, and I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Just hearing a woman talk like reckless, like a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, she was, and this is before the Chelsea Handler show. This is like 05, 06. You know,
She was brash.
yeah, man, it
Kind
was
of fun
like,
to watch.
yeah, it was both was fun. You know, both of them was fun to watch. You know.
I'm going to open it up to the internet audience. Just say now if you've got any questions for Byron, load them up, and I'll go check it out in a few minutes. Do you want to talk about a guy that we both met recently who was very excited to see a trunk in the front?
Man, yeah, I do. Some
you
guy
said I want to do your show just so we can talk about this.
Some guy pulled up in a hybrid electric. No, it was a hybrid. It was electric. What was it? Hyundai. And he slid the car. First off, he pulled up and he was like, "Hey, where the GT3s at?" And then he drove off. His tire spinning.
He stopped in front of us the first time. He goes, he's screaming out his window, same as you. He goes, "Yo, that's a nice fucking car."
Yeah.
And then he went up a little bit further to you guys. He goes, "Oh, where the GT's at?"
Yeah, and just slid up the hill. It's
Then he kept
snow.
on going.
On Newcombs, it's snow and everything. He slid up the hill. Then he come back down, and then he just stops the car, and it slides. He didn't even pull in. He stops the car, gets out with a onesie on. Like he should, like he had the onesie on it where he should have an astronaut helmet on top of it, right? And he steps over. You know how the snowplow plows the snow onto the side of the road? He walks through that.
Like the drift.
Like,
Yeah.
the embankment thing.
And then he was like, "What is this? What do you got in this thing? Huh? You think that's fast?" And start talking cash shit, but he's hyper. Like I don't know what he on. He got the Joker, like the original, like the what's the original Joker?
Jack Nicholson.
The
He
Jack
had the
Nicholson
whole thing.
He had the whole thing. Like he just had work done. The dimples and everything. And that was his resting face. So he, what's in this thing, huh? Yeah. And then he's just talking shit about it like this ain't shit. And he was like, "Yeah, I got a turbo in that thing." And I look and it's like a all electric Hyundai. He's like, "That's fast as fuck right there." And he looked at his tag and he was like, "Oh, you know I'm from Boston, right?" And he was like, "No, I actually
I go, how on earth would I know that?
yeah." And then he's like, "This is the trunk." He's like, wait. The trunk is here? Let me see the motor. He's one of those. I guess he's
That
right.
was it. He goes, let me see it. How many horsepower? Let me see it. I was like, there's nothing to see. I'm not going to, you got to look underneath in one of these cars. And then at some point, we were getting donuts out of the front or putting something away, and I needed to pop the trunk. And this guy, I thought he wasn't paying attention anymore, but he sure was. He comes out, "Oh, you got a frunk in the trunk? He's got a frunk in the trunk."
Yeah.
Like he was telling everybody, like, "Look, this dude tricked out his car." Every single person there has the same car. We've all got the trunk in the front.
Oh, I just heard
he
him
was
so
excited.
excited about it.
Then he was like, "You want a donut?" He was like we were bad people. Like his mom told him, "Don't you see a guy with one of these cars, they animals never take donuts from these motherfuckers."
But he said,
and then
he
you
goes,
offered him a donut, he was like,
he got excited. He said,
Yeah.
Boston, he goes, "Dunkin' Donuts, you know I'm from Boston." I was like, how would I know that? He was really excited that of all the donuts in Los Angeles that we had the Boston Donuts.
And I was talking to somebody, but his energy was so crazy. I was like, I can't leave Jay by himself. Because I didn't know what this, like my dad's a parent of schizophrenic, so it's always a thing of like, what's about to go down right now?
What's about to be created right before our eyes?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was tense, but you know, sometimes life give you a little bit of tenseness.
All right, I'm going to go to a couple questions here from the audience. The driver's seat would like to know, manual or auto?
Auto.
Auto?
Yep. And I know people don't like auto, but I wanted a daily driver, you know what I mean? Something I could like French kiss in, I could eat. I like to eat McDonald's fries sometimes when I drive. But I didn't know you can't do that in the 911.
You mean,
You
what,
gotta
did
be
you see Bad
focused.
Boys?
No, you just gotta be focused. You gotta
Oh,
be
yeah.
focused at all times. Because if you could glance this way and glance this way, and everybody stops, and the car just stops differently than like any other cars.
The weight's different.
Yeah.
That's actually how our screen name came to be, the Porsche Life, because when we got the 911, you have to drive it. I've been a driver my whole life, just like you. Had BMWs, like
Yeah.
always been a driver, always, no matter where. When we got the 911, I had to relearn driving.
Yep.
I couldn't do anything I used to do as well as I used to do it. It was crazy. And at first, I was like, what am I doing? I know how to do this really well in an M3 or an M4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once you master that, the weight in the rear, oh, man, it
You
becomes
good.
a whole different thing. And that the adage that they say of if you can drive a 911, you can drive anything becomes true. If you can master moving that weight around and getting it where you need it to go, it's amazing. But to your
Bro,
point,
I'm doing this on the my car doing this, and some guy 911, he be behind me, he be like, man, your car doing this, and I'm like, that's because I'm like, I'm just pressing the gas as I go
Oh,
around
you're
the
Ronnie
curve.
Revit.
Yeah, I'm like hitting it, and then I didn't know in the Tiptronic, or is it Tiptronic? Am I saying it right?
You
Tiptronic?
got it,
Yeah,
yeah.
my German is I don't. Yeah, I didn't know that if you do that, I'm downshifting. I didn't know if you double tap the gas, it's downshifting. So I'm jerking the car as I'm going around the car, and I got it in manual mode. So the car is confused.
It's going,
Like,
what
they
do you
shoulda-
want from
They
me?
should have never gave you niggas money. No, I'm just kidding. That's an old thing from the Chappelle show. Yeah, but you know, so I've definitely got to learn the car. And then they were like, "You want to go to the track?" I'm like, "Nah, I got 20s." Oh, my car came with some dope 20s on it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's not
it
going
ain't-
on the track.
It's not track ready.
See you on Sunset.
But I think I'm about to get some, you know, some. I don't know if I was 19 or 18s.
Okay.
Yeah, because of Matt. Matt put the thing in, and I'm going down to HRE.
Matt put the thing in.
Yeah.
Matt Farah?
Yeah.
You did Matt Farah's podcast, too. We got to
shout
talk
out to
about
Matt.
that.
Yeah, it was fun.
What'd you think of the studio?
Man, the garage, the studio is great. That whole building. I guess because I studied engineering in school. I don't know what it is. I like buildings. So my first compliment was like, man, this is a solid building.
I said the same thing. I got nuts about the concrete and stuff.
Yeah, the concrete and the beams. Some
Yeah.
beams are in there. And I'm like, and then like all of the caps on the pipes are the same color. And I'm like, y'all did a good job. And the fresh yellow on the poles.
Oh, the
like,
red and the yellow poles are the best.
I mean, like they did
The conduit in the garage.
the way it's ran.
It's amazing.
And I like when you go backstage at these theaters, sometimes it's a pipe out of the ground with the connections and they chrome. So I always like these like the pipe endings. And I'm like, man, I should get one of these in my place. Because my place is like, you know, I always try to do like this. We got like a Mediterranean rustic industrial thing. But I'm like, this is real industrial if I get like a pipe just drilled to the ground.
I know exactly what standpipe or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I seen some fire hydrants. I was in Ojai, and I stayed somewhere. Somebody had a wedding. Shout out to whoever had a wedding. 'Cause you don't want to say no names. But they had these old school fire hydrants that was like
At the wedding?
oh, not at the wedding, but at the place we stayed that were what's the metal? Like the bronze. What's that? They make a lot of gates out of this.
Brass? Bronze?
Brass. They had these old school brass fire hydrants, and I was like, man, yeah,
Those are
All the old fire equipment was brass.
wow. I mean, those were beautiful,
Like the old pumps and all that stuff.
man.
Man.
In New York, at a comedy cellar, they got a brass fire extinguisher hanging on the wall.
I do know that. I've seen it.
It's beautiful.
It's pretty rad.
I just stare at it, you know.
I may challenge you on that one. Isn't it copper with brass fittings? Because I think I
It
know
might
the one
be,
you're
'cause
talking about,
it
too.
shifts colors a little
Yeah.
bit.
I love that, too. All right, so you're into that stuff. We know what to get you for Christmas. That's easy.
Oh man.
Antique shopping. That's
Oh,
easy.
But
Let's see.
I don't even know how we got there. But oh yeah, the solid building. And you know the studio is dope, and his office overlooks the garage.
And the studio, too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's 4 lifts. It holds like 4 stories worth of cars, and it got a bar, it got a liquor locker, like a liquor locker in there.
Did you know that I built the studio for this Smoking Tire? That's why I keep asking you about it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so I was there for the construction of all of it.
That explains some of the color. Color similarities.
He came here and he liked. He was like, yeah, I want that. Give me
Yeah,
that.
man, that's nice. That table. I wish the table was a little bit higher though, just maybe 2 inches.
Oh, 2 inches.
Well,
No, it could be for anybody else. It could be a half an inch thicker if we wanted it to be. There are spacers we have that we could put in there, but we did. He wanted it low as it was, and we.
Oh,
liked
well,
it
you
where
know what
it
it
was.
is? It's that bar. My legs are longer than my torso, so
No, you
I
hit
hit
your
the
knee,
bar.
right?
Yeah,
I hit
yeah. So I probably should be your height, but I'm missing some vertebrae. I think.
Do you know the good thing then? It wouldn't change because that bar. The reason we didn't put the spacers in was the bar doesn't change. It would be between the bar and the table. The spacers. So we were just like, fuck it.
Well, either way, that's perfect then, because when you
that's
look under the
amazing.
table, it just clean. Because I looked under the table, the lines are clean. So yeah, that's good. It's good, man. It's the correct size. You can have about 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 or 7 guests in there. If it's a rap group, we can put about 10 people in there.
Did you have a good time on the podcast? Because he's been ripping out great podcasts
Man,
lately.
yeah.
Him and Zach have been killing.
Yeah,
it.
that time goes by fast. I had a little bit of tequila, he had a little bit of whiskey,
Yeah.
and then we just dialed in. We dialed in.
Was he hitting the pen too? Because usually he'll hit the pen as well. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe not with the whiskey.
I don't know. I think I seen the pen, but I don't remember. Whether it was before or after.
I know you said your What'd you say? You didn't say straight. You said you're sharp before. Do you still partake even in
I
occasionally?
only dabbled a little bit, just a smidget.
Okay.
I would only smoke like once a year.
Oh, that's
And then me and my
almost
ladies, we like hippie stoners, so we'll go to like, J Tree or like do some shrooms or something like that.
Okay.
But now because I'm in like writing mode and in a creative mode, and I like go to bed like at 10
Get up early.
and get up at like 4:35, and I'm just
You've got the
knocking
billionaire
stuff out.
lifestyle.
Oh, you know what? 6 months ago I fought against it. My lady was like, "This is great. This is how Jeff Bezos do." I'm like, "Oh, they trash."
But were you waking up automatically earlier? Like, did life
I would go
give
to-
that to you, or did you work towards it?
I would go to, what happened? I'd go to sleep at like 3, 4 in the morning. And then shout out this guy, Ian Dunlap and EYL, Earn Your Leisure. Black investors, they talk about
YouTube channel,
finance and stuff. Yeah. Number 3 podcast with finance.
Huh.
Shout out to them guys. But I ended up taking a free futures course from this guy, Ian Dunlap. We got to practice trades. We got to practice like trading futures, dummy trades. So I had to change my schedule for that, which is weird, to be up before when the market starts.
Going from being a comedian with a nightlife,
Yeah.
you're going to sleep at that time. Now you're waking up.
Yeah, because there's no more comedy. And, I had to find a different thing. So when comedy ended, I remember sleeping in my car in 2009. And I remember after that crisis reading that Goldman Sachs had the best year. And their goal is to make money whether the world is going good or bad. So when this happened, I was like, that was my automatic thing, was go in the market. And I had just got a check, and I was just like, I threw it in instinctively at two stocks. I had a lot of these products at the house, so I just went in on that product, that company, and then electric car company. And,
I can't imagine what two we were talking about, but very well done. Well played.
Electric car company. I'm careful about who I
heard you bring it up the other day to somebody who I thought you were pretty safe with, and the first thing you said was, "Well, you probably want to get rid of that." And it was just like, "Oh, geez, you can't talk to anybody about this because everybody has their own opinion."
Everybody got their own opinion. So I mean, like I said, like they say, it's about discipline, which is another way to discipline yourself, right? And then blocking out the noise. So my instincts told me to do this. So I mean, you follow who you follow, and then you cannot get involved with nobody else, especially if they leading you on the right path. That's how I look at it.
Magnus calls it "go with your gut."
Yeah.
Go with your gut, but it's really just trust yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, my gut got me here. My gut told me stand up would take me to the promised land when I was bombing.
How long? Back when you were first starting out?
Yeah, like in 2005.
Seriously?
Yeah, I quit. I started probably in 2002, but I quit.
The 2 jokes you told here on the show were I'm sure they've been worked on since then, but
No, that's it. I don't really do them.
They were solid. So I can't figure out why you wouldn't have, like, why were you struggling as a stand-up other than stand-up itself is very hard?
I think it was a blend of everything. I was shy. I just looked like a kid at the time.
All of this became through the process? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're telling what you think is funny to you, and then you start to like write jokey jokes, right? Like I went in and didn't write no jokes, so I got booed the first time I was in a comedy club. I'd never been in a comedy club before. I didn't know what to do, most people go sit and then they see what comics do and they find a open mic and they try it out at an open mic. I started at an amateur night, Apollo style. First time in a club.
Which club?
Uptown Comedy Club. And that's the first bomb I had at the club. The second bomb was outside in my truck when I was trying to sleep with this young lady. It didn't work out well. Shout out to you. Bad night. Must have been retrograde or something.
Oh, yeah.
Can you blame that when your dick don't work? Retrograde?
Oh, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
That's what you meant about...
It was weird. It was
You
weird.
can't.
about bombing out? I just thought, yeah, that's funny.
Oh, it was a bad bomb, yeah. Then my friend got in a car accident.
I don't know what's worse.
So I had to finish. I finished because I couldn't do nothing, and then I had to drive and meet him at the Waffle
At
House.
the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It
Was your friend
crazy.
a comedian too?
He's the first person to put me on. We did a talent show in college, and he let me host with him. So he's technically the first person I think to put me on stage.
Did he think
Shout
you were
out to
funny,
Patrick Greer.
or did you want to do it?
Or
Was he like, hey, man, you should try this because this is what you're meant to do?
Yeah, a lot of my friends think I should have done stand-up. And my friend Black, shout out to Black, drove me to the comedy club. He had the car pulled around by the time I left because they was bombed. He's like, I can hit them booing from out here. And he drove a 71.
He was concerned for your safety.
Yeah. And he drove a 71 Nova with pipes on it. So you know they were booing loud if he could
fire that up.
Yeah, like a boo. Man, long ride back to Decatur. So yeah, man. And just like I pay attention to patterns as much as I can. So even me like starting to transition to acting is the same way. People are like, I think you could do this. And I'm like, man, I got to do this with these people. You know.
The Showtime show you were great on.
Thank you.
I can't remember what it's called. I couldn't remember.
The Shy.
The Shy, yeah.
People was like the Chi. White people call it the
That's
Chi.
what because Chi McBride, I did
Chi.
always want to do that. All right.
It's Shy. Chicago. People.
Oh, that's all it is? You just
CHI.
cracked that code? I didn't even get it till now? That's really what it was?
The Shy Chicago.
Did you get that?
No.
We're
Shy
stupid.
Town though.
Yeah,
I always
Chi-Town,
said
yeah.
that.
All
That
these
makes
albums Kanye West made about the Shy, calling it the Shy. Y'all thought he was meant like he was shy?
But you played that character. I thought it was more like I thought it was like fancy. I thought it was Shylock, and then I thought it was like a fancy like thing like it's shy like a shy, because your character was intense.
Yeah, I don't think they meant for that character to be like that. So
You brought that.
I don't know what happened, honestly.
No.
Yeah, no, it was part of me, and then it was part of what I studied. But I remember like, I auditioned for that, and I tested to be the main character, and I didn't get it. That was my first time testing for something. And before you test, they make you look at a contract. And I'm poor, and I'm looking at this contract for this deal.
How bad you want it, kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. It's the wrong thing to do because it got in my head. Like these numbers, these are life-changing numbers, you know. And
Maybe that's why they do it.
and they want you to sign it. They say so you can't change your mind.
Oh, they give it to you to sign ahead of time in case you get it.
If you get it, it's already the deal's already done. You
I've
can't
never
negotiate.
heard of that.
You can't
Holy cow.
negotiate after that. You can't be like, oh, I got it. Y'all want it? Y'all want me to do it? All right.
Talk to my people.
Talk
None
to
of
my
that.
people. No,
That's-
it's like
I've
we
never
locked
heard
you in.
Holy cow.
So and it's me and this other guy, and we like the same height, we the same complexion, and he ended up getting it, and
The main role.
the main role. And I don't know who liked me, whether it was the producers or the director. Somebody brought me back to do one character. They had this character to do, and I did it, and it was supposed to be one episode, and it turned into 5.
Oh, so that's how that worked. It wasn't written that way.
No, it wasn't written that way.
So your performance.
It was weird because I started out with a little bit of lines, and I'm playing across from the guy that got the part.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
right.
look, we the same height.
First and second fiddle.
Yeah, we the same height. We the same complexion, everything. And then I went from having a small, like a few lines to each episode, my lines. And then I remember the last episode I was on, he did it the whole episode. And I'm talking, and I'm like, man, and I'm at a day rate now. So I'm down like, man, I'm
Right,
doing
'cause
all
you
this
signed a
talking,
contract.
and I'm doing no, I didn't get that big contract.
Oh, that's right.
He got the
That's right.
contract. I'm like, you come in for a day, we give you $100 and some coffee.
You'll be on TV.
Be on TV, and I'm like, man. So I had to change my thought process. Like, I don't need to be on TV. I need the other thing.
Right. 'Cause
So
even
during
if you
the
get it, it's
pandemic-
not what you think it is.
Well, I mean, because I got my first check, and I looked at it, and it was like tax and everything. So it was like even half of that, and I was like, people study acting for 10 years for this. And I was like, oh. And every acting class they always talk about that one time they was in such and such, and I was like, this ain't it. So, but shout out to Lena Waithe. What it inspired me to do was to like learn how to create and pitch my own show. So now I ain't got to worry about, he got an accent and all that. No, now everybody's gonna have an accent.
Well, we have burned through the time, so let's talk about what you got coming up. I know that you're writing a show.
I'm definitely writing a show.
But not just, I mean, a lot of people are writing shows. I mean, you sold a show. Or at least a script.
I sold a script, and I'm doing a pilot now, you know, about me and my dad who's paranoid schizophrenic. So it's
That's
going to
awesome.
be, about, mental health, you know what I mean? And it's good because it's going to be through my lens. And it's like all these stigmas that comes around mental health that we don't talk about, you know. And I might not be the best, advocate for mental health because I don't go to therapy or shit. I had the stage for that. I had you for that, you know.
How is that without having that outlet? And I'm sorry to cut you off, but how is it? Most comedians I know do it for a reason, and it's not money, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
So a lot of comedians that we know are ailing right now without the outlet.
Yeah, they jumping online. They jumping online in a weird way. Now I'm really seeing some of the desperation when I see comics on like Instagram and stuff. Luckily for me, I found, I have my lovely lady at home. Shout out, baby, who listens to me, so I feel heard to where I don't need it no more.
Oh,
it's crazy.
that's amazing. You feel whole.
Yeah,
You complete
and
me.
we both like childhood addicts and stuff, so we got similar traumas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you have the same foundations, sometimes that's really easy to build something new on.
I don't know. We got the same foundations, but I definitely know when she's upset, I could get to the root of it, and vice versa. You know. So I mean, we both strong-willed people. So when we get into it, we get into it. But other than that, it's lovely. You know.
Congratulations, though. That's
Thank you.
awesome. I'm so happy to see you happy.
Major cultural differences, though.
Shall we get into a couple?
I mean, I'm from Atlanta, and I'm born in Athens, which is a small town, and she's from Tel Aviv,
Oh, yeah.
which is
So this is the same girl.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I was afraid to ask because it might not be.
Well, yeah, you always with comedians, you never ask. You just assume. I always just be like, it's the same person until I see them, and then be like, oh, that's a different person. You know how it is. We out on the road and everything, living that life. Think all the guys who don't have, they just got to be at home. I don't even get into that.
Switching lanes.
I made a left. I made a hard left on that one.
It's awesome. I feel like comedians are hard to have in the seat too, because you've got so much. You have your own catalog to pull from for material, and then I'm over here trying to like have a conversation. So it's tough to do both when you're able to do both. Some comedians can't do both, so they just sit here and they just keep doing material back to my questions. You're able to do both. So I don't know. Do you
Only
care?
joke I wrote in my back of my head that I told tonight is the Goodwill joke.
Wait, that was a joke?
Yeah,
The 80. I
'Cause
spent
was
80
planning
grand
I
in there or
spent about
whatever.
20 grand, yeah.
I thought
I was saving it for late night, and I was like, I guess it works.
you did such a good job on that. I thought that you literally look like you thought of it right
Because
then.
I say it in my head over and I was like, man, that's funny to me.
But it's the same lead up to you. It's the misdirection. It's the long lead. It's the lady getting out of the shower.
Yeah,
There's a lot of details before you. Hey, mom.
yeah. Apparently that's my style. So tune in to other stuff I do.
What is going on with the show? You're in the writing stage now. They don't have a director. They don't have all that stuff attached, right?
Yeah, I'm just writing now. So I got to get approved. They might not. You got to see if it's even a show.
Right.
It's like so many steps, and it takes a long time.
Yeah.
It ain't like the instant gratification we get from stand up. We tell it, then the payoff happens. Nah, this is like, what's up with this? This don't make sense. Or who is this person? Can you? What's the emotional? Where is this guy at emotional when he makes this decision? And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't even show emotions. It's a different form of therapy.
Have you been through this process before?
Nope.
Yeah, it's gonna probably rip your guts out too along the ways.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're pouring your heart into it, like you said before, it'll be from my lens. It's like, I mean, are you self-producing? Because
Well,
you know what I mean? Everybody gets involved. Everybody
Yeah,
justifies.
but the crazy part is I did turn in something and they was like, this sounds like a TV show. The first part is it sounds like you. And then the back half sounds like a TV show. So we want the whole thing to sound like you. And I was like, oh, okay. And look, I'm just going by. I'm just learning on the fly.
Yeah.
All this shit, I'm learning on the fly, everybody. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can be ignorant enough to do that. I remember my lady told me she ended up selling something. She wrote it, the whole thing. It took her like months, and then she sold it. And then she was like, yeah, if you write, you could sell it too. Spend a few months and write something, you could sell it too. Because it's like a chunk of money. And I'm like, I could do the road for a year, but I could do this in one chunk. And she was like, yeah. She was like, some people don't even write it. I was like, shut up. She was like, yeah, you can go in there and pitch it. Then they will pay you to write it. I'm like,
if you can do that, that's the way to do it.
I was like, I got to do that. She was like, you can't do that. And I was like, I'm going to do that. And then I did it.
Wow. I am so excited to watch this show. It needs to get made. And I
Hopefully,
have a feeling because of the subject matter, I mean, the fact that you were doing it and everything, I already know it kind of might work out. I just kind of got a sense about it.
It's
but
like
the
a lot
subject
of
matter,
true stories.
this should get made.
Yeah.
It should be made.
It's a lot of true stories it's a lot of true stories that, are weaved together. So it's coming from a real place.
Also, paranoid schizophrenia is one of the ugliest bastards there is to deal with in the entire world. I don't know how you grew up with that.
I don't know either. I mean, we spent time apart. And
That may be the answer.
yeah, we spent a lot of time apart, and it was drugs involved and everything. So it's actually learning what it is that I didn't know. But you are caught up in something. I was caught up in a delusion that I thought was
The
real.
altered states.
And then when I'm in my relationship now, and my lady be like, normal people don't do this. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know,
It's all your programming.
Yeah.
How would you know what's normal?
my reality is just somewhere, I don't even know. So this is what I know. So that's what changed my writing. Or you see Kevin Hart, these comics, and they write this material that's so relatable. And I know black audience like relatable material, and I was like, man, I could never write that stuff. I was like, I guess I just gotta write why I'm not relatable. And
that's what makes you relatable.
And then it just changed, because people were writing me like, yeah, I'm my mom's schizophrenic too, or my brother is this, and we going through this now.
This is while you're doing the material on stage.
This is after, like, when I get emails and stuff now.
But
Like,
having done material on stage about it.
Having done material, when I did my This Is Not Happening, about the day I found out my dad smoked crack, and then me selling crack, and for those who ain't seen, I'm getting head from this crackhead in the car, and she a lesbian, and we both hit these lows at one time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is she doing here? What am I doing here? And it's a father and son playing basketball on the court, and I'm like, oh,
Did the music start playing in your head? And
yeah,
everything?
I was like, oh, this is why I'm here. And I remember watching it, and it all made sense of why I'm in this moment right now. Like, I'm being shown this thing, and then I have to, like, take that in and then push it down and still calm so we can leave. You know what I mean? I got to get out of there because this going to go on all day. She don't know what she doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Suck me in again. He's so good at that. I'm way too persuadable.
Yeah, the point I'm making was, like, when I did that, and I'm like, and instinctively, I was trying to find the jokes for it. I was shooting the shot, and I flew back to tape that set. And I was out there, and I'm looking over the set. It's typed up, and something was like, don't even do the joke. Why are you looking over this? This is your story. Fuck a joke. That was my instinct. That was my gut said. So I just went up there and just did it. I just did it. You know what I mean? And I'm in it. Like, I'm visual. I'm seeing everything as I do it. And I didn't even know I was on the verge of tears.
Really?
While I'm touring. Yeah, my eyes are red. Like, it's like a teardrop on the corner of my eye. But I'm looking at people, and they eyes
they're
are red.
moved. The audience was moved.
And then they got nervous laughter because they in a room full of strangers. And then
was that one take? Was that one?
Yeah.
That was all real.
And I didn't even have an ending for it. And then the ending just came while I was on stage.
Wait a second, but they got you to do this thing, and it's a series. You should totally check this out on YouTube, by the way, because it's really, really great. The whole series is great. But they must have known what your story was going to be. How did you get
They knew
booked?
it was going to be, and they seen a funny version of it. And I told another story, and they was like, "Oh, that story was raw, but you punched it up too much."
Okay.
Yeah. So they was like, we wanted like more of a story. So I mean, shout out to Comedy Central too for doing that. But the people start writing me, and then I'm having these heart to hearts with people. And one guy in the comment, said something like he was high when he watched it. I think it was heroin or something, but that was the last time.
No.
Yeah, and he been sober for like a year now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he got
Your
two kids.
story
He
was
got
his
two
ground
kids himself.
rock bottom.
Yeah. Because the cycle, man. I got family, that's going through that version of the cycle now. We call them family curses in the South. That is real,
Yeah.
We out here trying to break family curses,
Generational curses.
Generational curses. We all have them, so. That's why I'm finding out. My aunt was telling me my dad she learned how to drive. He's like, your dad taught me how to drive a stick. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I used to have this MG midget. And I'm like, a MG midget in Athens? How you get a midget in Athens? And I remember he had an RX-7, but all my friends drive Chevys and Fords. So I'm like, I must have got my car taste from my dad because I never really drove, until my last car, I never really drove coupes. I mean, four-door. All my cars were like sporty coupes. And I'm like, oh, my dad drove coupes.
Yeah, me too. That's a weird one. I never put that together until you just said it. King Arthur would like to know, what's one of the pivotal moments of your life where, if it had played out differently, your life as you know it would be completely different?
I think that this is not, that moment is one of those moments, like I said, for my this is not happening, like finding out my dad smoked drugs and being in the projects on the court when my cousin died. And I was like, I got to do something. Because my mom struggled with money, my dad doing this, and I don't know how to, I didn't know how to play basketball. I was on the basketball court. I think I ended up making the team within like the next year and a half. After that, a year and a half.
You've always been this person then. You set your mind something and you just do it. You just go there.
I didn't know
A to
that.
B,
But
whatever it is, like, this is what I'm working on now and I will get there.
yeah, I mean, I'm more like that now, but I have to look at what I've came through. Like, I remember Rita from the improv was like, he's cocky, don't give him no, they used to try to hold me down because they thought I was, had a lot of confidence. And I'm like, it ain't from comedy. It's from what I left,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Life.
And sleeping in my car, like all this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, keep going. So I think it's, that's one of the moments. I had a few, I think I almost died like 8 times. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, first of all, Jessica Pilot says hello, and then next,
Yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of
she says hi, Byron.
Tell what's up, Jessica Pilot. Jessica Pilot is she's pivotal for me doing Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful talent in her own
she was
right.
showing up to see somebody else, and she was leaving the club, and I was going on to do like a.
She wasn't looking at you?
No, she was coming to see, I think, Rami. And Rami did his set, and they were all leaving, and then I went up, and I was doing 5, and I think they walked back in and saw me, and then we developed a set. That's when I did, just talked about my dad and schizophrenia and all that. Yeah. And she's helping me. We're trying to do a special right now, and she's gonna be one of the EPs on that.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Can I just real quick ask you about the Colbert experience? Because you didn't do that, I don't think, when you were here last, but do they still shoot all their comedy on one day?
They do, yeah.
Oh, that kills me.
I do.
As a guy who goes through all this to make sure it's all live on tape, to make sure we're actually doing it. That bothers
That's why
the
when
hell
I
out
come
of me
out,
energetically.
I still point to him, like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah, right. Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I remember because I showed up late. I was looking for some Long Johns or whatever so I could stay warm in New York. And I'm with my family, but I'm really calming down. So I'm not at the hotel just thinking about this show. So I'm just out, just asking these guys about all these Long Johns. Like, is this really winter? New York got these weird, like, the Army surplus stores. And they are. I'm like, I don't know. And so either way.
Army and Navy stores, yeah.
Yeah, and I show up. And they like, all right, do the run through. And I'm like, a run through with a set? It feels weird. And I did it and went down. Manager showed up, the Don Julio. I had some Don Julio, went up. And yeah, I was in the zone. I think I was going long too, because I just seen the producer with the he had his paper rolled up, his little script, and he was just waving it, just running down the side of the thing. And I just got off, But it was a great experience. They were happy with it. I think it changed the game for them.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that. I would imagine they'll be very happy to get back in that theater someday.
Yeah, man. That was a very energetic crowd. Yeah, so.
That's so weird for them, too, because I don't know if the audience knows that they're there to not see The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. They're just there to see 5 or 6 stand-ups.
5 or 6 stand-ups, I know.
So it's weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might get
might not be
a
what you're
crowd that's half
expecting.
pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they expected to see the news with Stephen Colbert.
That's why the last comic should have just sat at the desk and pretended to do read a monologue or something.
Oh, that'd be funny. All right, we've gone totally long. I didn't even get to most of the stuff on the
What?
card. Yeah, no, it is what it is. You're amazing. You're amazing. I could talk to you forever. I'm glad that I get to see you regularly now.
Thank you, yeah.
What is
'Cause,
there anything that you wanted to talk about that I didn't get to?
Nah, I'm just real. I'm just chilling. Like, yeah, whatever comes up, that's where we hitting.
But you don't do podcasts. You haven't done one in forever. So it was like
Yeah.
us and Smoking Tire. And by the way, same week.
Same week, yeah. I have to schedule. My schedule's getting crazy. Yeah, I just picked something up. So, like I said, I did voice animation today. Went home, worked out, then came here.
You had a voiceover job today, and then you went to the gym, and then you came here. I
Yeah.
love that.
My
You're
gym's at
active
the
as can
house.
be.
My gym's at the crib. So
Oh, still.
yeah. But it smells
Still.
like fumes in there. Yeah, man. So, and then I woke up, and I think, you know what? I did trade futures today. I did do some NQ.
Oh my God!
I
So
traded
you're
NQ and
trading now
ES.
too because you're Mr. Investor
Oh,
guy.
I'm practice trading. I'm practicing. You know, I probably won't put no real money into like a year from now.
You're
but
still sticking where
I'm still
where
on
you're
the yeah,
sticking.
like they say, 300 practice trades. So you can learn how this thing moves because this ain't no game. As you can tell, what happened with GameStop, this ain't no motherfucking game. And that was cold, man. The more you learn, it makes you want to go in. When you see people they posting their numbers, they making $11 million and $3 million. But if you're disciplined, and that's why you discipline yourself, right? Especially you got the addict gene. You know that like if you're not, you could lose. But if you don't do anything, you're not missing nothing. And if the people you follow,
No FOMO.
yeah, the FOMO, they call it FOMO with the market. And if the people you follow ain't going in, then it's not a smart thing. And you got to learn to do long term first, because the market, you never lose long term if you get with the right company. Man, once I learned that,
If you get with the right
yeah,
company.
if you get with the right company, like a Coca-Cola, something.
Oh,
yeah.
something with yeah, I see your point.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that,
something with a track record.
yeah, that
proven
it's
track record.
always gonna move up and down, but over the long haul, the market has always went up because the dollar is inflating.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, Byron. Well, we got to pay some bills here, so I'm going to tell everybody about St. Clair Insurance. I'm going to tell you about it too, since you're sitting here.
Okay.
St. Clair Insurance, Mrs. Ryan, you know about them.
I do.
They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance has coverage for your toys. What kind of toys, Byron? You ask?
Giant sex toys. No, cars.
Yeah, cars,
That's right.
boats, ATVs, your house, your business, any of those things. Anything, whatever you
Wow.
need that requires insurance. Check out St. Clair Insurance at coverageforyourtoys.com. Make a friend in Jeff St. Clair. That's what we did. And I'm going to find a camera for this in a second here. Too many buttons. I need another guy. St. Clair Insurance, coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
There we go.
Coverage for your
Beautiful.
toys. I didn't know you was doing oh.
Yeah, that's what do you think? I'm adding over here?
Yeah, I thought you was doing math. I was like, man, this guy's efficient.
I'm cutting the camera so I don't have to do it later. Coverageforyourtoys.com. Check out St. Clair Insurance. Also over here, Byron, you'll be happy to know this, and this is why I was asking earlier. Do you do the CBD products?
You know what? I do rub occasionally CBD on myself.
All right, now this is for you then. You,
Okay.
thanks to Cruz into Wellness, you get a $50 gift certificate for appearing here in person today to cruisintowellness.com.
Wow.
I know. Need a lift lately? Cruise into a healthy 2021 with Cruise into Wellness CBD. The cruise is with a Z. Cruisintowellness.com. It's CRUZ like Santa Cruz. Speaking of
I like that.
all that stuff.
I like that. I like your voice too when you delivering these products.
You like mine?
Yeah, it's getting very professional and like.
People don't know this about me, and they think it's a joke when I say it. I actually went to broadcasting school and never did a fucking thing with it because I stole this microphone from David Letterman and I got scared and had shame and whatever the fuck else. I literally was only supposed to do this. I did this little show in high school and then I went to broadcasting school right after and my dad died and my life went to hell and I never followed through with it. I stayed in the business. I still worked on all these shows.
Yeah.
I just never pursued anything of like what my purpose or calling was.
Well,
I don't know that I'm good at any of these things, but it's definitely what I was supposed to be working on all
you
this
know what I
time.
learned? It's the journey, right? So you never know. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. I mean, I done made some turns. I done ended up in some places, and I was like, how did I end up here?
Mm-hmm.
But everything you've done leads you to that moment.
100%.
It's just taking that leap. It's going to be nervous, but.
We didn't even talk about this. You know this is the original Letterman desk and Letterman chairs? Like this is literally where Drew Barrymore flashed or something.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I didn't
until
know that.
now?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, so that's why all of this. that's the why behind it all.
Now what is this?
This is all my control system for,
with
for
the
everything we
wood
do.
top, is that the Cruz?
Oh, this was the Cruise into Wellness. Yeah, I meant to hold this up when I was doing it.
Anything
Oh,
with a
geez, Cruise
wood
into
top,
Wellness.
anything with a wood top is usually a good product.
Is that right? Bamboo.
I mean,
top?
when it comes to CBD.
Mm-hmm.
And this is their own line, Relief Cream by Cruise into Wellness.
Oh man,
So you can get yourself,
world
you
could
can
use
get
a
yourself
little
a handful of this stuff.
the world could use a little relief right now.
Yeah.
You know. Any more? What else you got?
That's it. How do you feel?
Man,
We did it.
I would like to have a thing where I could just pump products out. Don't never get me to a place. Y'all will hate me. I'll be selling some of everything. You know.
We'll
I
just
did a campaign for Harry shampoo. I was in the tub and I shampooed my hair. You ain't never seen a nigga shampoo their hair before. They always put it here and then, you know what I mean? That shit was in my hair. It was making noises and shit. That's right. It still might be running. I think that it's still on the contract for January, 6 months. I don't know.
Oh my God, you're remarkable. You're remarkable. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
This is a resource for you. Should you ever want it? If you want to host your own late night show and you need a set to borrow,
I mean, I'm
it's
definitely
all
looking
for your
at
pilot.
this, you
It's
know what I
all
mean?
good. It's all good. You
We
wouldn't be the
definitely thinking
first.
about doing a podcast, and I'm looking at this, and I was like, I got a little bit of low self-esteem, but I was like, yeah, because I was just going to put some microphones on the table.
That's what we did. We got the set. We got the set, and everything looked ridiculous. So I was like, well, you got to light it and made it, everything around it and everything. It didn't make sense. And it still doesn't make sense, but at least it's a cohesive element
this is
artistically.
This is crazy right here. And this is the power. This is the power of Hollywood. You can shoot a whole movie in here.
Sure. A movie about talk
You
shows.
got the lighting and everything to do. I mean, it's like, look at all them cameras that look like little drones.
Yep.
This is amazing.
It's amazing.
Camera 3. Y'all, thank y'all for having me, man.
All right, buddy. Byron Bowers, you should check him out on Instagram. It's Byron Bowers. Also, if you're a Porsche fan, which most of us people are, check out Rolling Coffee Bean. Rolling Coffee Bean. Where else do they follow you? You got a website or anything like that?
I do, but I haven't been on it since the pandemic started.
Fair enough.
But it's ByronBowersLive.com. So it's no more live. So,
Right.
but you can go look at some old shit.
And do you have a YouTube channel or anything?
I do, but there's nothing on it but some car I built in 2011.
What car did you build in
Oh, when the car
2011?
drove out here, the 4th generation Prelude, I put a timing belt
I
in it.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, my voice, I sound like a kid. I saw it recently.
The 4th generation was the digital dash? Or the one
Yeah,
before
but
that?
they had the needles that was digital.
Yeah.
That weird teal color.
Yeah.
Man, that car was, oh boy.
And the if you had, you knew your fuel when it was in like 4 segments for how much fuel you.
Yeah.
It was like by
Man.
the quarter.
That's the first car I really like. I bought it.
Was it an SI?
It was it was an SI.
Yeah.
H23 motor.
That was
And,
a great car.
Man, that car was fast in the first few gears. I remember driving it. I drove it prematurely. My homie was like, "Don't drive it," and I was like, "I gotta move it." And the hood came up and smacked the windshield. Blow! That was the first 5 minutes. The first thing I ever did to the car.
Did you have to replace the windshield and or the hood? Or
Both,
neither?
yeah.
Yeah, both. Okay. Yeah. Fucked them both up.
Yeah.
All right.
The hood was already damaged anyway. Ain't had no lights on it. The whole front was gone when I bought it. College, man. College.
Oh, it's amazing. All right, Mrs. Ryan, I love you. Byron, we love you. Thanks for coming over,
Thank
buddy.
y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me.
We love everybody at home. Please love one another. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll be up at Good Vibes Breakfast Club up at Newcomb's, 9 to 11. Saturday, maybe Malibu Kitchen, or is it the second Saturday? Oh crap, I forget. There's the 101 Cars and Coffee. Guys, are you this weekend?
I'm just
Some
learning
guy,
where the
some
spots
guy
at.
goes, "Hey, can we get a quick 5?" I think he means tight 5 from you. And no, not today, but maybe
Nah,
some
what
other
do you
day.
think? What do you think this
That's
is?
funny. That's funny.
I'm waiting on the. Oh, that was Jessica Pilot.
No, there was somebody else, but
I'm
Jessica
waiting on
Pilot-
something to close before I do my. I got a new price point on my set now, so I'm waiting on some stuff to close. That's why I ain't did comedy. I'm holding out.
Oh, I love it. All right, love you, buddy. Love you. Love everybody home. We'll see you out there.
Be well. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was